Hi, and thanks for joining me today. My name is Patty from PS Paper Crafts, and I want to show you how to make this cute fun fold card. I don't even know what the fun fold is called. I think it's a new one, and it just opens and opens. Isn't that cute? So I saw Rhonda Wade demonstrate this, and she got it from Barbara Dykhouse. I don't know if she's the originator of her, but I thought this was a really cute card, and I wanted to make it with different stamps and different papers. So I'm using the Nature's Harvest. I love this. It reminds me of fall meadows, and I think it's really pretty. I did put a little Wink of Stella on it, and I'm using Bumblebee, and then this paper is actually from the Pansy paper. So look through your papers. There's always a pattern that you can use in a different way than you would have thought. So I think this is very fall looking, the color, because of the Bumblebee. So I have my pieces cut, and I'll just go through them with you. So the card base is a half a sheet of cardstock. So it's 4 1/4 by 11. So I cut it different than, you know, the normal, the other cards that open the other way. So that is that sheet. And then I have, this is the little inside layer. And this is, let's see, 2.5, no, this is, yeah, 2.5 by 9.5. So we're going to fold that in half, and then we have the scrap. So see, it's the Pansy paper. So this is going to fit right at the bottom, and this is 4 by 2.5. And then we've got 2 white sheets, one for the outside and one for the inside. And these are each 4.5 by 2 1/4, so they'll fit perfectly. So the first thing I want to do is get my card base set up. So I'm going to get my trimmer out. And let's see, which way am I going here? I'm going to score it at 5.5, like I would score, you know, a standard top folding card. And I don't want to use my cutting blade. That would be disastrous. And I just want to use my scoring blade and score it down. And then I want to cut the bottom or the top, whatever way you want to look at it. So I'm going to cut off at 2 3/4. And I'll just save that as a scrap for another project. We're not going to use it on this at all. So I'm going to cut this one. And then we have this kind of bottom fold. See? So let's get our bone folder and just burnish it. And then I want to use this one. And you can just fold it in half, but I want it to be clean and crisp. So I'm going to go with 4 3/4. So that's just half of this 9.5. So again, we want to move up the cutting blade and just score it this way. Okay, so now we have that piece, and all we have to do is stamp and decorate. So let me get the stamping going. Let me just get a scrap here. So I'm coloring this with blends, but usually we say use Memento ink when you're doing the blends. But I find if you're careful, you can use regular ink. So I'm using soft suede, I should say water-based ink versus the Memento. And we're just going to ink this up good. And I don't have my sticker on, so I'm going to wing it by the shape. Okay, we want to make sure that's down. That looks nice. And the sentiment, I just wanted something here. You can use the thank you, but I looked for welcome, and that's what I do. Or I'm sorry, I looked for hello. I just look through my stamp sets and find something that goes in the direction I want it and will fit the way I want it. So I found this hello. I like to send hello cards, and I am going to stamp that in my Calypso Coral. So the reason I'm using Calypso Coral is I'm doing some coloring on the flowers with Calypso Coral. So I figured I'd tie it together. So let's just get this straight. And there we go. Oh, no. Let's see if I can fix that. I'm going to try to go over it. I don't think I held it down good. Otherwise, I'll do a quick stamp. Yeah, I'm going to just stamp it on the back. I'll make that quick. Maybe that's why I left my I'm actually going to do it on this one. I left the soft suede open. All right, let's do this again. And actually, I'm going to ink it up this way. It's kind of a big stamp. So we'll do this real quick. And I'm going to pull it down a little bit so I'm right over it. And just eyeball it. Okay, and then let's try this again. I have it kind of on a weird block. Maybe that's my problem. I have to make an excuse for it, right? And we're just going to press it and make sure I press the top down. I think I just didn't have it down good. There we go. Hello. And let's do our inside while we're doing this. So on the inside, I just have this smaller bunch of flowers, which you can color or not color. Depends on what you like. So let's do this one. I feel like there's a ridge up here. That's why I didn't use it. So I'm going to just take my bone folder. Sometimes when I cut, I think I need a new blade. Seems like I have a ridge. Okay. So let's do this again. Let's just do that. Make sure it looks good. And I'm not putting a sentiment in. If you follow me, you know when I do a hello card or thinking of you, a lot of times I don't do a sentiment because I don't really know who I'm sending it to and why. So let's do our coloring. And again, I'm using the Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to use dark Calypso Coral for these top parts. And I think that just gives them a nice fall look. These are cone flowers, and usually I've seen them anyway in like a dark pink. I think Rococo Rose would be the perfect color for this, which retired. But that's what I think of when I think of cone flowers. And I'm just going to do a little bit of like dotting here, and then I'm going to do the lighter color. So let's do the lighter of the Calypso Coral. Just right in here. Give it a little bit of texture to it. And then I want to color the petals, and this is dark So Saffron. And I'm using the skinny end just because I want to make sure I don't go out of the lines. So I wanted to add a little Calypso Coral, the light one, just to give it some kind of fall look. You know how the flowers are starting to go and change? So I'm just going to go over it just lightly, and then I'm going to blend it in so it gives it an orangey yellow. So there you have it. And I'll do that the same to these. Okay, so we have to do the inside too, but let's finish the outside. I'm going to do the stems in dark Old Olive and then the leaves in light Old Olive. So I'll just speed this up as well. And I'm just really, it's narrow, so I'm just kind of, I'm not coloring it, I'm just kind of touching down as I go down. Okay, I'm going to add a little dark on the lines, and then I'll just blend them quick. So I'm just going over some of the lines, not even all of them. Okay, and then I'll just go over that again very quickly with the light. Okay, so that is done. So now let's put our card together, and then we'll take care of the inside. So I want to just put that aside. Let's get this piece down. And we'll just take our adhesive. I'm going to use the Stamp and Seal on this one. And we just want to get it centered so there's a nice border. Okay, and then we want to put this on the outside, and maybe I should do the inside before I put it down. We'll put this down and then we'll color the inside. We'll do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So we want to get this one centered. Okay, and let's just color this one real quick. And on this one, you don't even have to color it. I think it's very pretty like this, but I'm going to just touch it with the same colors. So I'll speed this up so we get through it quickly. Okay, so I used a light old olive, and I just used the dark So Saffron and dark Calypso Coral on the inside. I didn't do any other blending. And I really, for the old olive, I just pretty much dotted down because it's so narrow. So let's put this on the inside. There's my big mistake. And we'll just lay this out and center it. And you can't even see that there was anything on the back. Now, if I had colored this with the markers, I wouldn't be able to flip it because the markers kind of bleed through. So now we put this down, and we kind of want to make sure that we have it centered. So this I'm going to use the liquid glue on, just so I have a chance to kind of maneuver it around before I settle in on where I want it. That's kind of thick. Just going to shove it around here. All right, so let's get this. I don't want to go all the way to the bottom. I want it centered side to side, and I want to make sure it's straight and kind of even on the top and the bottom. So that looks good. Got a little glue there. I think I was a little heavy on the glue, but isn't that pretty? And I would just kind of burnish it more, but I think it's really beautiful. The last thing I did was I put one of these bumblebee trinkets on. Now, I made a card just a couple of days ago with the bumblebee trinkets. I don't use them very often, so 2 cards in a couple of days is quite a bit, but I thought they were good cards for the trinket, and it's very cute. Oops. So we'll just put this right there, and I think it's really cute. Let me show you the other card. This is a card I made with the bumblebee trinket, and I did some sponging. This is a YouTube live that I did on Wednesday, so you can go back to my last YouTube video and see that. Oh, we didn't do our Winkostella. I'm looking at how glittery this is, and this one isn't. So let's put a little bit of Winkostella on, and I'm just putting it on the top. If you want to put it on the whole thing, you go for it. But I wanted these to, and I'll just put a little bit down here. I'm going to do another coat, and in person it's shiny and everything, but it also gives like a kind of a textured look, I think, because the stamp has the brown in it and then we colored it. So isn't that pretty? I love these. I think they're both really beautiful, and try making this fancy or fun fold card and see what you come up with. All right, thanks for joining me. Bye.